Okay. Hello. This is the third discussion group. Um, in this third discussion, uh, we will be participating, me, Karina, as the leader, and Carmina Guzman, Cindy Paola, y Pamela Frausto. In this third discussion, we will be discussing questions that are based into reading studies, acknowledgement as a key to teacher learning, and let me see, do we practice what we teach? Next. Okay, so the first question is, considering your learning experience, what do you consider you have avoided in your current teaching? Pamela?
I think that in the past I used to I think you can identify when a teacher really prepared the class, and I think that's a way of respecting your students. So that's what um I remember that I had some teachers who you knew that they didn't even were teachers. They just knew the language and they started to teach it, and they didn't plan anything. So I think that's something that I could like to avoid, um, to give real prepared classes.
Okay. Yes, I think that we all try to avoid or not to be like some teachers that we had in the past, or to behave in some way that we didn't feel comfortable with. Uh, in my case, will be the use of textbooks. I personally, as a learner, didn't like to use a lot of these textbooks, and I think it's related with that the teacher didn't prepare classes and they just use the textbook like open this page and do this and that's it. And so, yeah, I think that I also relate a little bit with that. Okay, so next question, please. Okay, so do you think it's possible to find a space to practice acknowledgement in the teaching world of the work, and why? Carmina?
I think this is a topic that maybe not a lot of teachers that teach, well, in this case, English, don't know about this or just don't have a lot of knowledge about how this works. But I don't know if it's like possible, this. Well, at least I haven't practiced this, so I don't know how it works at all, or if in the future, if I will be using this tool.
Okay, Pamela, do you want to add something?
Mm, I think that sometimes that is not possible to do it because I think that here in well in many places, but in specific here or in the parts um that I have had an approach. I've seen that there is no like the teachers are not provided with a with an space in which they can share their experiences, and in some way I have seen that most teachers are like, I think this works for me and I will keep it for me because it's in some way I think it has been like a competitive profession. So I think that sometimes teachers tend to keep what works for them, and we are not allowed to share our experiences and what worked for us.
Okay, and what about you, Cindy? Have you experienced something similar to Pamela?
Right now, I think that this class helped me to like express myself and to share the things that I don't like in my work. But I know that right now it's only because I take this class and because I am in the BA. I know that in a real world of work, maybe I am not going to be able to share the things that I don't like. So yes, I think.
Yes, I think that in the professional space is more difficult. And well, as Pamela said, mainly because the competency. Wait. Okay, we are going to move on to the next question. Okay, so in one of the readings says that much of classroom knowledge is experiential, that is gained from practical experience. But in your case, where does your teaching knowledge most come from? Do you think it's most of experiential knowledge or theoretical knowledge? Carmina?
For me, until now, I think that it could be more theoretical knowledge because, like 2 months ago, I started to giving classes, so I don't have a lot of experience. It's more theoretical knowledge. But I think that maybe with the pass of the time, maybe I could gain more experience. So yeah.
Okay, and what about you, Pamela? I think that you have a little more experience than us. What do you think?
I think in my case, it has been a combination of both of them. In one part, I remember that when I just started teaching, I was like, I think this is very difficult because I didn't imagine some things. But then after that, I could identify it in post semesters in the career, and in the same way, um, uh, in, in like in how do you say, like in another way, that I was for example, we were reviewing a topic in school and or things like that, and I was like, oh yes, that I saw it in when I was just uh starting in teaching. Or so I think it's like in my case it has been a combination of both of them.
Yes, well, I think that in general, we also have a lot of like a kind of experience with micro teachings here in the VA. So I think that it will, also helps. Okay, next question. Have you experienced as a student have influenced your teaching beliefs, and how? Cindy?
Yes, personally, my experience, I have a bad experience, but as a teacher, as a student, sorry, when I was studying English, because my teacher was very um gossip person in some point and too strict. So with that experience, I decide that I am not going to be like that particular teacher. And when I start to teach, I was able to know that sometimes you need to be a little bit strict with students. And when I was a student, I promised that I never I will like to punish some student or not like that. But when I start to teach, I notice that sometimes you need to be like a little strict, but you need to be. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in my case, this is like the opposite of you because well, I know that as a student, I knew that teachers sometimes need to be or to behave in a certain way to keep the control of the class or something like that. And now that I'm teaching, I think that I don't want to be like that, and I can. It influences, but in the opposite way. Okay. Next question, please. Okay, so this question says, how the video recording could you help you and your teaching? Do you consider that you are able to notice your own mistakes in your video? Carmina?
I think that recording your class is very helpful, and it has its advantages and disadvantages. For example, one of the advantages is that you are able to see, well, we discussed this in a previous class, and I mentioned this again because I think it is important. To mention it that you are able to see how you look, how you sound, how you behave with your students, how the communication is with your students. For example, if you are paying attention to all of your students, how do you give instructions, and how do you control them, and things like that. And for example, if you are able to notice your own mistakes, I think that maybe yes, but if you show your video to someone else, maybe that person is going to see something that you weren't able to see.
Yes, I think that is true because today I was seeing my video with my sister, and I was focusing on myself in the video, like, oh my God, I look like that. Oh my God, I say that. Oh my God, I I look like this. And my sister was like, oh, did you see that this girl did this thing to this other girl? And I was like, no, and I didn't notice when I was there in the classroom. So yes, I think that to realize our mistakes, we need to watch either with someone else or watch it several times to notice all of our mistakes or the things that happen in the classroom that we didn't notice. So yes, I agree. Okay, next question. Okay, can you handle an sorry, unexpected situation in your class that could affect your lesson? How would you react and act? Pamela?
I think it I think it completely depends on the situation. For example, um if it's a situation about discipline, I think it must be we need to work on that mm, in a process. Or for example, if it is about that is your that we're presenting a topic and we are working on a specific thing, and you notice that that your students don't understand it because they need something different. I think the way that we'll act uh, or the way that we will face the situation will completely depend on the situation.
Yes, I think that we sometimes face some problems, and for example, if the first time that we faced a problem, we in some way like are able to handle it, we may think that we can handle it the next time that it happened to us, but next time it will be completely different because as you say, it depends on the student or the situation or the context. It will be always different. So I think that well, it depends on the situation and in our experiences, as you say. So yes, I agree. And okay, next question. Okay, have you had any bad experiences where you feel your teacher was not empathetic to you or your classmates? Pau?
Yes, I had a bad experience where I think that my teacher was not empathetic. For example, when my mom had a surgery some years ago, I can attend to class like for two days. As you know, I don't have brothers or sisters, so it's only my mom and my father, right? And I need to take care for my mom that 2 days. So when I come back to the class, he just told me that I can't bring my homeworks or my works, and I think that that was not empathetic. So yes, I had this rare experience with my classmates. Well, I think that it's the same, that some situation that is not because you want, or that is not in your control, and they don't be flexible with you. So yes, only that.
Okay, this experience has an influence in your teaching or in your identity as teacher?
Yes, exactly. With that, I know now that I don't want to be like him, because I feel very bad at that moment. I said like, come on, I was not in a party, I was very frustrated in the hospital. So please be more I don't know, be more polite with me, please. So yes.
Okay. Carmina, would you like to say an experience?
Well, fortunately to me, I didn't have any bad experience with any teacher. But maybe when I was in high school, this used to happen a lot to some of my classmates that were the ones that didn't behave well. So but yeah, like Paul was mentioned, I think that as a teachers, we need to be emphatic, but also we have to know with who students, because there are students that take advantage of that. So you need to be careful with that.
Yes, I agree. Okay, next question. Oh, okay. Well, well, as a conclusion of this, I think these two readings made us reflect in mostly our experience as students. And I think that sometimes it's important to remember how is it to be a student, because well, everyone here was a student before, but I think we with the time forgot about difficulties, and yes, it's important to reflect also and well, put ourselves in the shoes of our students. And will you guys want to add something?
Well, I think that it is important to consider that all of these topics, that for example, reflection, video recording, are important for us as teachers, because we need to know what can we do in the situations that are going to be presented in our teaching life, and also how to act, how to react, and how to improve more than anything. So
Pao and Pame, would you like to add something?
I only want to share that my last class I have a situation, and in my mind comes immediately, ¿qué harían mis compañeros ahora? So I think that this class and the readings are like help me a lot to know how to manage some situation, and my mind start like immediately to reflect and to remember all the session that we have in this class. So I am enjoying the process.
Okay. Pame, would you like to add something or?
In my case, I think something similar to that Carmena said is that I think this training has helped me, or kind of suggested me um, to be in the place that are my students, because sometimes I think before I started to teach, I was like, I am going to create every time classes that all my students enjoy and they feel comfortable. And I think it is important to mention that it isn't um it can always be in that way, because we know that in specific children, they don't like to go to write a lot, or to practice maybe writing or reading. They prefer to be doing other kind of activities. So I think in this way, I could, I have been trying to to be in the shoes of them, and
Okay. So then that will be it for our third discussion. Thank you for watching.